Alright, hey guys, doing an EDC update. It's been a while. I think my first one was my only one, so I've kept sort of up to date with the Strangers with Knives videos, but I wanted to do a video that was just everything that I've got, a little bit of information about each thing. I'm going to try to keep it somewhat short, but yeah, so I've had a couple people ask about it too, so I figured I might as well just do it tonight. I had a little bit of time before Gretchen gets home, so let's start. Well, you guys have seen this like every single video I've done, the John Gray beard comb. Really like it for how small it is. I wish, like, I do still want to pick up a little bit bigger one probably, but I don't really have much of a reason to, since this one's just easy. It goes in the like change pocket of my jeans, and it looks good. It's just a nice little titanium beard comb. It's got a bottle opener, which I never use, but yeah, so it's great. I'm gonna move it out of the way somewhat. Next thing that you guys see all the time is the Strider SNG Gunner Grip, or DGG. Love this knife, love Strider. Just such good support, just a nice overbuilt folder. Good community, like the Strider community is really good. I put on this bead, which I showed you guys in one of the other videos, how I tied it and stuff. It's a great knife. Pretty much, if I were to sell everything, this would probably be the only one I'd keep. Just because it works for everything. I can always trust it. It's a little bit tactical for me if I'm like wearing a suit or something, but other than that, like, it's the only knife you ever really need. One of my favorite, it's the Boker Nano. I really have always liked Curtis's stuff. Curtis is the designer of the Nano. Basically the mid-tech, Curtis designed it, Boker mass produced them essentially. This is steel, everything on this side is steel, and I anodized the pocket clip, pivot, and the standoffs. I don't know how well you guys can see it. I've shown them in another video. I just used my electric stove and heated them up. It also, I did do a wicked edge on it. One of the first ones I did with the wicked edge to kind of still break in the stones, but it came out really good. It cuts paper really well. It's 440C stainless steel. That's one of the like, you know, parts that makes it a little bit more affordable, is the cheaper steel. This isn't G10, this is like a cheap plastic, the scale. So my plan still is to pimp this thing the rest of the way, make my own scales. Still trying to decide what I'm going to use. Finish anodizing the screws, and I don't know, maybe do something with this, with the blade. Probably won't do anything with the blade, but and I can tell that this is just not focusing well, so I'm sorry guys. This is not going to be a very good video, like most of them. So yeah, Boker Nano. I really like this knife. It's kind of expensive for what it is, but I've just always liked how it looked, so I've had 2 or 3 of them now. Good little knife. This also fits in the change pocket, by the way, so if you need like a little tiny knife to carry, this one fits really good. Keybar, I just talked about this in my vlog. I actually put a new key in it, so I showed you guys how to do that. Always liked the Keybar. I had a Key Smart before, that's in my first EDC video, and it was flimsy, the screws would loosen, and it was mass produced by a manufacturer, which is cool, and it makes it cheaper, but I like to support the small guy, you know. And this one's full tie, and yeah, just a good community, good guy in the community too. So I figured we'd use that. The Stretch, probably in my last video, I haven't actually watched it in a while, I talked about the Spyderco Stretch, which was with FRN. Really liked the knife, but that was the only thing I didn't like, was the FRN's handles. It just made it feel cheap, and it's a $70 knife, so I didn't want to have cheap handles. The other thing was it had the pinned construction, or riveted, essentially, construction, so you couldn't switch those scales if you didn't like them. The main thing that I've liked about it was the blade shape. Just a really cool blade shape, different from pretty much any other knife. I honestly, right now, like this knife, the G10 version with the ZDP steel, better than the PM2. Now, I am probably picking up a PM2, the left-handed carry one, because I always complain about not having left-hand carry knives. So if Spyderco is going to make a specifically left-hand carry knife, probably going to buy it. Plus it's paramilitary too. So I'm going to do a comparison video once I pick that up between the two. They're obviously not competitors, but just comparison for everyone else, just to show you guys the difference in size, the difference in weight, blade shape, lockup, all those different things. So be on the lookout for that video. It'll probably be another month before they actually release it. Tenacious. This was one of my first higher end, well, I don't know if I'll say higher end. It was my first Spyderco. Really good knife for the money. 40, 50 bucks depending on where you get it and what scales you get and the finish and everything. Just a smooth Spyderco knife, and it, not the greatest steel, not the greatest, it's not the lightest knife. It's a liner lock, so potentially it's not the strongest knife, all those things. But if you're gonna pick up a knife and it's gonna be your first knife and you want to spend a decent amount of money so that you don't break it, this is definitely an option. One of my favorite options. I got one with blue G10 because I love blue, and I was planning on actually collecting all the Tenaciouses, all the different colors. Fell off from that. Just kind of was like, well, what's the point? I really only need the blue one. So, I don't know, I might change. I might end up picking up a couple of the others. We'll see. But it just feels great in hand. Cool blade shape. I wish that they would cut this straight. I don't like this straight line here, and obviously liking the Stretch, that's something that would stand out to anyone, is if they just cut that down, I think it would just give the knife a little bit more character. But other than that, like, this one does have a backspacer, so it's a little heavier, but just a nice kind of classy, just EDC knife. This is all the knife anyone really would ever need. If you're gonna collect, if you're gonna be beaten on your knives or whatever, then this might not be the option for you. But if you're looking for a knife to just pick up, to carry every day, cut strings off your shirt, open boxes, all like the basic stuff that you'd use a knife for, this is a good option. There's others out there for sure. There's a bunch of Kershaws, there's the Ontario Rat, there's some other Spydercos that are all contenders. I just like the Tenacious. I like the differences in customization too. Thrunite Ti4T pen light, titanium, goes up to like 300 lumens or something. Just a good EDC pen light. I had a Streamlight. It wasn't the Stylus Pro. It was the more tactical one, the Pro Tac. I think that was made by Streamlight. Yeah, the Pro Tac. Traded it away and missed having a pen light, so I decided to pick up something different just to compare. This has been a good knife, or a good light. Pro Tac is Pro Tac's cheaper, but this one's titanium. The aluminum version of this is affordable. It's like 20 bucks. Definitely, I just love having one on me if I'm, you know, walking in the parking lot and drop something, you know, just instead of pulling out my phone, I pull out the pen light. A lot of people would say that they just use their phone. I understand that, but I don't agree with it. So, I believe this knife has made it on some of the shows. I don't think it was in my EDC update. And if it was, it wasn't this version or this one. This is a Reich knife. I don't know. They don't have model number on it. It's a D2 blade, titanium handles, flipper, on bearings. This is my classy carry. If I'm wearing a suit, if I'm wearing a sport coat, going to a wedding, whatever, this knife or the ZT that I'll show you next are the two knives that I pick up. That's just, I like the plain stonewashed titanium, the bigger blade, the flipper, just screams classy to me. This is a good, for being, it's a Chinese manufacturer, it's a Chinese designer and manufacturer, which a lot of people don't like, but the Chinese designers are starting to put out great knives. This is one of them. This is one of the first ones that came. I picked it up on a trade or something because I liked the way it looked. I liked that it was a titanium flipper, and it's a great knife. D2, like I said already, very smooth flipper. It is right hand only, but that's okay. Great knife. You can't really find them new anymore. Reich has put out a lot of other knives that are actually quite a bit more expensive, and they are very nice. I haven't tried any of their other knives just because I haven't been buying knives lately, and my targets have been more Strider, Hinderer, that kind of stuff. If I'm going to spend over $200. The other classy flipper that I carry when I'm going to be going to church or whatever, is my ZT 0900. Picked this up in the Ozark with Gretchen. I talked about it on a couple of the other shows. It's S35VN, Les George design, nice chunky package, great edge on it when it right out of the box. Left hand carry, which is cool. No lanyard hole because I think it's because it's so small. But the flipper, this is the best flipper that I've owned. The detent is strong, and when it just sounds amazing. It just rockets right out of there, and it's just a great knife. You're gonna spend $200 on this. You can probably find them for like $340 on the secondary market, but just a great knife. Really enjoy it. Okay, the last knife, my battery's about to die, so hopefully I'll get through it. This is a mid-tech, essentially a custom, but he calls it as mid-tech because he did have them mass cut out, CNC'd essentially. The maker's name on Instagram is KMaxRom. This is called the Pelican. He's put out a few other knives. He's done some knife customization. He's from, I think it's France. It's somewhere in Europe. And I just really, ever since I saw it on Instagram, I really liked the design. It's just kind of that nice little classy food prep knife or like little chef's knife that you'd carry. I haven't carried it much because, as you can see, that the sheath is leather, and he did make it left-handed for me, which is nice. But I work in an office. I'm not gonna carry a sheath around with a knife in it. So I've still been thinking about getting a Kydex sheath made for it and be able to carry it a little bit more concealed potentially or somewhere else, but I just haven't taken the time to do it. So there's that. I had one knife left to show, Bladeworks Mini DH. I'm going to just splice this into the other video. This is going to get sent off. I got to email Lance, but I figured since I'm doing the update video, I would show it off before I sent it out. Really like this knife. It's just it's got character. It's not a Strider, it's not a Hinder, it's same build quality. Just great, cool, different, all those things. The cool Hammond, the nice anodizing on the lock side. Just a really cool knife. I don't know offhand what steel it is. It's not stamped. You can see the Sniper Bladeworks logo right there. And frame lock, the reason it's getting sent out is it, as you can see, it is rubbing from being off center. I've tried a couple things, you know, the basic stuff to fix it. Haven't been able to. So I'm going to send it to Lance. Hopefully he can fix it. Send it back to me, not charge me a ton of money. But it's, you know, $500-600 knife new. If I can give it, you know, spend $50-100 to get it fixed, it'll be worth it. So just wanted to show you guys that. Wrap up the video. The Bally, not very good at it, and I'm also just scared of them. But pick this up. It's cheap, $20, like little basic Balisong. Kind of cool to learn on, but not much past that. I might pick up something nicer like Spencer has been. But it's cool for sure, and it's fun to, you know, practice with. It's another, basically a skill toy, you know, like that guy. So yeah, cool. Alright guys, thanks for watching. There's the EDC update. Hopefully you guys liked it. Let me know what else you guys want to see. If you got me to go in depth on any of these knives or the Keybar or any of the other gear, let me know and I'll throw a video up. Thanks for watching guys. Like, comment, subscribe, carry knives.